Friday, May the 1st. Grandma rang early this morning to say, "Cast ne'er a clout till May be out." I haven't got the faintest idea what she was going on about. All I know is that it has something to do with vests. I am pleased to report that Barry Kent and his gang have been banned from the Off the Streets Youth Club. But this means they are now on the streets, worse luck. They filled a French letter with water and threw it at a bunch of girls and made them scream. Pandora burst the thing with a badge pin, and Rick Lemon came out of his office and slipped in the water. Rick was dead mad. He got dirty marks all over his yellow trousers. Pandora helped Rick to throw the gang out. She looked dead fierce. I expect she will win the medal for Most Helpful Member of the Year. Saturday, May the 2nd. Had a letter from Grace Poole. This is what it said. Dear Adrian, thank you for your charming letter of thanks. It fair brightened up my day. The girls are all joshing me about my suitor. I am due for parole on June the 15th. Would it be possible to come and see you? Your Auntie Susan is one of the best screws in here. That's why I obliged and made the toothbrush holder. See you on the 15th then. Yours with fond regards, Grace Poole. P.S. I was falsely convicted of arson, but that is all in the past now. My God, what shall I do? Sunday, May the 3rd, second after Easter. There is nothing left in the freezer, nothing in the pantry, and only slimming bread in the bread bin. I don't know what my father does with all the money. I was forced to go round to Grandma's before I died from malnutrition. At 4 o'clock, I had one of those rare moments of happiness that I will remember all my life. I was sitting in front of Grandma's electric coal fire, eating dripping toast and reading the news of the world. There was a good play on Radio 4 about torturing in concentration camps. Grandma was asleep, and the dog was being quiet. All at once I felt this dead good feeling. Perhaps I'm turning religious. I think I have got it in me to be a saint of some kind. Phoned Auntie Susan, but she is on duty in Holloway. Left a message with her friend Gloria, asking Auntie Susan to ring me urgently. Monday, May the 4th. Bank holiday in UK. New moon. Auntie Susan rang to say that Grace Poole has had her parole cancelled because she set fire to the embroidery workshop and destroyed a gross of toothbrush holders. Their loss is my gain. Tuesday, May the 5th. Saw our postman on the way to school. He said that my mother is coming to visit me on Saturday. I've a good mind to report him to the Postmaster General for reading a person's private postcard. My father had also read my postcard by the time I got home from school. He looked pleased and started cleaning rubbish out of the lounge. Then he rang Doreen Slater and said he would have to take a rain check on Saturday's flick. Grown-ups are always telling adolescents to speak clearly, then they go and talk a lot of gibberish themselves. Doreen Slater shouted down the phone. My father shouted back that he didn't want a long-term relationship. He had made that clear from the start, and that nobody could replace his Pauline. Doreen Slater went shrieking on and on until my father slammed the phone down. The phone kept ringing until my father took the phone off the hook. He went mad doing housework until 2 a.m. this morning, and it's only Tuesday. What will he be like on Saturday morning? The poor fool is convinced that my mother is coming back for good. Wednesday, May the 6th. I am proud to report that I have been made a school dinner monitor. My duties are to stand at the side of the pig bin and make sure that my fellow pupils scrape their plates properly. Thursday, May the 7th. Bert Baxter rang the school to ask me to call round urgently. Mr. Scruton told me off. He said the school telephone was not for the convenience of the pupils. Get stuffed, Scruton, you pop-eyed git. Bert was in a terrible state. He had lost his false teeth. He has had them since 1946. They have got sentimental value for him because they used to belong to his father. I looked everywhere for them but couldn't find them. I went to the shops and bought him a tin of soup and a butterscotch instant whip. It was all he could manage at the moment. I have promised to go round tomorrow and look again. Sabre was happy for once. He was chewing something in his kennel. My father is still cleaning the house up. Even Nigel commented on how clean the kitchen floor looked. I wish my father wouldn't wear the apron, though. He looks like a pufter in it. Friday, May the 8th. Found Bert's teeth in Saber's kennel. Bert rinsed them under the tap and put them back in his mouth. This is the most revolting thing I have ever seen. My father has got bunches of flowers to welcome my mother home. They are all over the house, stinking the place out. Mr. Lucas's house has been sold at last. I saw the estate agent's minion putting the board up. I hope the new people are respectable. I am reading The Mill on the Floss by a bloke called George Eliot. Saturday, May the 9th. I was woken up at 8:30 by a loud banging on the front door. It was an electricity board official. I was amazed to hear that he had come to turn off our electricity. My father owes £95.79. I told the official that we needed electricity for life's essentials like the television and stereo, but he said that people like us are sapping the country's strength. He went to the meter cupboard, did something with tools, and the second hand on the kitchen clock stopped. It was dead symbolic. My father came in from fetching the Daily Express. He was whistling and looking dead cheerful. He even asked the official if he would like a cup of tea. The official said, "No, thank you," and hurried up the path and got into his little blue van. My father switched the electric kettle on. I was forced to tell him. Naturally, I got the blame. My father said I should have refused entry. I told him that he should have put all the bill money away each week like Grandma does, but he just went berserk. My mother turned up with Lucas. It was just like old times with everybody shouting at once. I took the dog to the shops and bought 5 boxes of candles. Mr. Lucas lent me the money. When I got back, I stood in the hall and heard my mother say, "No wonder you can't pay the bills, George. Just look at all these flowers. They must have cost a fortune." She said it very kindly. Mr. Lucas said he would lend my father a ton, but my father was very dignified and said, "All I want from you, Lucas, is my wife." My mother complimented my father on how nicely he was keeping the house. My father just looked sad and old. I felt dead sorry for him. I was sent outside while they talked about who was getting custody of me. The arguing went on for ages. In fact, until it was time to light the candles. Lucas spilt candle wax over his new suede shoes. It was the only cheerful incident in a tragic day. When my mother and Lucas had gone off in a taxi, I went to bed with the dog. I heard my father talking to Doreen Slater on the phone. Then the front door slammed, and I looked out of my window to see him driving off in the car. The back seat was full of flowers. Sunday, May the 10th. 3rd after Easter. Mother's Day, USA and Canada. Moon's first quarter. Didn't get up until 4:30 this afternoon. I think I'm suffering from depression. Nothing happened at all today, apart from a hailstorm around 6 o'clock. Monday, May the 11th. Bert Baxter offered to lend us a paraffin heater. Our gas central heating won't work without electricity. I thanked him, but refused his kind offer. I have read that they are easily knocked over, and our dog would no doubt cause a towering inferno. If it gets out that our electricity has been cut off, I will cut my throat. The shame would be too much to bear. Tuesday, May the 12th. Had a long talk with Mr. Van, the careers teacher, today. He said that if I want to be a vet, I will have to do physics, chemistry and biology for O-level. He said that art, woodwork and domestic science won't do much good. I am at the crossroads in my life. The wrong decision now could result in a tragic loss to the veterinary world. I am hopeless at science. I asked Mr. Van which O-levels you need to write situation comedy for television. Mr. Van said that you don't need qualifications at all. You just need to be a moron. Wednesday, May the 13th. Had an in-depth talk about O-levels with my father. He advised me to only do the subjects that I am good at. He said that vets spend half their working life with their hands up cows' bums and the other half injecting spoiled fat dogs, so I'm rethinking my future career prospects. I wouldn't mind being a sponge diver, but I don't think there's much call for them in England. Thursday, May the 14th. Miss Sproxton told me off because my English essay was covered in drops of candle wax. I explained that I had caught my overcoat sleeve on the candle whilst doing my homework. Her eyes filled with tears, and she said I was a dear, brave lad, and she gave me a merit mark. After supper of cream crackers and tuna fish, played cards in the candlelight. It was dead good. My father cut the ends off our gloves. We looked like two criminals on the run. I am reading Hard Times by Charles Dickens. Friday, May the 15th. My grandmother has just made a surprise visit. She caught us huddled round our new camping gas stove, eating cold beans out of a tin. My father was reading Playboy under cover of the candlelight, and I was reading Hard Times by my key-ring torch. We were quite contented. My father had just said that it was a good training for when civilization collapses, when Grandma burst in and started having hysterics. She has forced us to go to her house, so I'm there now sleeping in my dead granddad's bed. My father is sleeping downstairs on two armchairs pushed together. Grandma has written a giro cheque for the electricity money. She is furious because she wanted the money for restocking her freezer. She buys 2 dead cows a year. Saturday, May the 16th. Helped Grandma with the weekend shopping. She was dead fierce in the grocer's. She watched the scales like a hawk watching a field mouse. Then she pounced and accused the shop assistant of giving her underweight bacon. The shop assistant was dead scared of her and put another slice on. Our arms were dead tired by the time we'd staggered up the hill carrying big bags of shopping. I don't know how my grandma does it when she's alone. I think the council ought to put escalators on hills. They would save money in the long run. Old people wouldn't go about collapsing all over the place. My father paid the electricity bill at the post office today, but it will be at least a week before the computer gives permission for our electricity to be reconnected. Sunday, May the 17th. My grandma made us get up early and go to church with her. My father was made to comb his hair and wear one of his dead father's ties. Grandma held both our arms and looked proud to be with us. The church service was dead boring. The vicar looked like the oldest man alive and spoke in a feeble sort of voice. My father kept standing up when we were supposed to sit down, and vice versa. I copied what Grandma did. She is always right. My father sang too loudly. Everyone looked at him. I shook the vicar's hand when we were allowed outside. It was like touching dead leaves. After dinner we listened to my grandma's records of Al Jolson, then Grandma went upstairs for a sleep and my father and me washed up. My father broke a 41-year-old milk jug. He had to go out for a drink to recover from the shock. I went to see Bert Baxter, but he wasn't in, so I went to see Blossom instead. She was very pleased to see me. It must be dead boring standing in a field all day long. No wonder she welcomes visitors. Monday, May the 18th. Grandma is not speaking to my father because of the milk jug. Can't wait to get home where things like milk jugs don't matter. Tuesday, May the 19th. Full moon. My father is in trouble for staying out late last night. Honestly, he is the same age as the milk jug, so surely he can come in what time he likes. Told my father about being menaced today. I was forced to because Barry Kent seriously damaged my school blazer and tore the school badge off. My father is going to speak to Barry Kent tomorrow, and he is going to get all the menaces money back off him, so it looks like I could be rich. Wednesday, May the 20th. Barry Kent denied all knowledge of menacing me and laughed when my father asked him to repay the money. My father went to see his father and had a serious argument and threatened to call the police. I think my father is dead brave. Barry Kent's father looks like a big ape and has got more hair on the back of his hands than my father has got on his entire head. The police have said that they can't do anything without proof, so I'm going to ask Nigel to give them a sworn statement that he has seen me handing menaces money over. Thursday, May the 21st. Barry Kent duffed me up in the cloakroom today. He hung me on one of the coat hooks. He called me a copper's narc and other things too bad to write down. My grandma found out about the menacing. My father didn't want her to know on account of her diabetes. She listened to it all, then she put her hat on, thinned her lips, and went out. She was gone 1 hour and 7 minutes. She came in, took her coat off, fluffed her hair out, took £27.18 from the anti-mugger belt round her waist. She said, "He won't bother you again, Adrian, but if he does, let me know." Then she got the tea ready. Pilchards, tomatoes and ginger cake. I bought her a box of diabetic chocolates from the chemist's as a token of my esteem. Friday, May the 22nd. It is all round the school that an old lady of 76 frightened Barry Kent and his dad into returning my menaces money. Barry Kent daren't show his face. His gang are electing a new leader. Saturday, May the 23rd. Home again. The electricity has been reconnected. All the plants are dead. Red bills on the doormat. Sunday, May the 24th. Rogation Sunday. I have decided to paint my room black. It is a colour I like. I can't live a moment longer with noddy wallpaper. At my age, it is positively indecent to wake up to Big Ears and all the rest of the Toyland idiots running around the walls. My father says I can use any colour I like, so long as I buy the paint and do it myself. Monday, May the 25th. I have decided to be a poet. My father said that there isn't a suitable career structure for poets, and no pensions and other boring things, but I am quite decided. He tried to interest me in becoming a computer operator, but I said I need to put my soul into my work, and it is well known that computers haven't got a soul. My father said the Americans are working on it, but I can't wait that long. Bought 2 tins of black vinyl silk finish paint and a 1/2-inch brush. Started painting as soon as I got home from the DIY centre. Noddy keeps showing through the black paint. Looks like it'll need 2 coats. Just my luck. Tuesday, May the 26th. Moon's last quarter. Now put on 2 coats of black paint. Noddy still showing through. Black paw marks over landing and stairs. Can't get paint off hands. Hairs falling out of brush. Fed up with whole thing. Room looks dark and gloomy. Father hasn't lifted a finger to help. Black paint everywhere. Wednesday, May the 27th. 3rd coat. Slight improvement. Only Noddy's hat showing through now. Thursday, May the 28th. Ascension Day. Went over Noddy's hat with kid's paintbrush and last of black paint, but bloody hat bells are still showing through. Friday, May the 29th. Went over hat bells with black felt-tip pen. Did 69 tonight. Only 124 to go. Saturday, May the 30th. Finished last bell at 11:25 p.m. Know just how Rembrandt must have felt after painting the Sistine Chapel in Venice. 2 a.m. The paint is dry, but it must have been faulty because it is all streaky, and here and there you can see Gollywog's striped trousers and Mr. Plod's nose. Thank God the bloody bells don't show through. My father had just been in to tell me to go to sleep. He said my room reminded him of a Salvador Dali painting. He said it was a surrealist nightmare, but he's only jealous because he has got yucky roses on his bedroom walls. Sunday, May the 31st. Sunday after Ascension. I bought a joss stick from Mr. Singh's shop. I lit it in my room to try and get rid of the paint smell. My father came into my room and threw the joss stick out of the window. He said he wouldn't have me messing with drugs. I tried to explain, but my father was too angry to listen. I stayed in my room for a few hours, but the black walls seemed to be closing in on me, so I went to see Bert Baxter. Couldn't make him hear, so I came home and watched religion on the television. Had tea, did geography homework, went to bed. Dog won't stay in room anymore. It whimpers to be let out.